Hey everybody, hope you're having a good day. Just trying to find my video here, make sure it's an actual video and not a link. Let's see, come on, keep up. Oh yay, it shows me that I am an actual video. Push this up a little bit so I can make sure my volume is down before I open this so I can see all your lovely comments. Hi Lita, how are you, honey? So we're gonna be coloring Dudley. He's the little Dracula Dragon for Halloween. Thank you, Meadow. I'm just gonna wait a couple seconds, see if anybody else remembers that I'm here today, because I know I switched days on you since my mother-in-law is in town. So we're gonna be doing Dudley in, oh, I'm glad you're good. I'm good. Day's almost over. Meadow, can you hand me a couple of those? So we're going to be doing, sorry I didn't get my nails, I didn't do my nails today. I didn't have a whole heck of a lot of time. And I've been cleaning the house with my mother-in-law coming in town, so they might be a little dirty, so I'm super sorry about that. Hey Susan, hey Paula. So we're going to be doing Dudley in green. And then we'll do the pumpkin, of course, pumpkin colors. And then his little cape will be black. I was kind of going back and forth on whether I should just, since it doesn't show his body, if I should just leave it that way. So I think I'm going to. Hey Kathy, hi Marie. This is, y'all are showing up really good on a Monday. Should I change my day to Monday? Holy mac and cheese. So, for those of you that just showing up, I wanted to apologize for my nails. I've been cleaning the house and I didn't have a chance to do them yet today with my mother-in-law coming in town. So I hope you will forgive me that they look horrible. Let's see. We're going to start out with Dudley. And we're going to use YG13, YG03, YG00, YG06, and YG01. We may or may not use the 03. I'm not quite sure yet how this is going to go. So I thought I would just try out something new with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead, let's see. Actually, I need to see which one is going to be my darker color. So that's 03. And that's 06. And let's try 13 just to see how that looks in there. And then we have the 13. So it looks like we're going to start with the 13. I always forget which of those three are the darkest, so I like to just put stuff down on the paper. But we're going to start with putting some little shadows in on little Mr. Dudley's face. I hope y'all are doing well today. So going to put some shadows there. And then right here is his snout. So we'll put that in right there. And then to make his eyes really look good, we're going to put a little bit of color here. Hello, Antoinette. And we'll put some color there. Mostly just take care of all those places that we want to have shaded. And it looks like he has like a little vampire hair going on there, which I think is super cute. And then right here he's got a little line. I'm just going to go ahead and color that in with the 13 because between his head and his cape it's not going to get any sun. And we're just going to do sun from this side today. So we're going to go ahead and put a little shadow here, some on the bottom of his hand, and the bottom lines of his fingers, and just a little right there. And we'll put some on the back side of his thumb. So since the sun's coming this way at him, the same will go for this arm, because it looks like he's actually facing the sun a little bit. So we're just going to go ahead and do it this way. And because of his head, this part of his hand won't get any shade, or any sun, not shade, sun. Sorry, it's been a long day already. So, and we're just going to go ahead and go like this. And then more than likely this right here is his body, so I'm just going to go ahead and put some shading in there. So the next color we're going to go with, I think, will be the 03. Let's see how that works out. Don't do anything yet. I want to make sure it's going to, oh yeah, that'll just make the 13 a little darker, so that's really nice. So go ahead with the 03 if you are following along. And we're not doing anything with this part of his belly just yet. So just going along all those parts that are supposed to be shaded. This right here underneath his hand will be shaded just because his arm and his hand will be blocking it. And then just go little tiny flicks to bring that out a little bit more. Hi, Jessica. How are you, honey? Do you like Jess or Jessica, sweetheart? So we're going to go ahead and pull this part out. Get the rest of his little top of his little snout right here and get behind his little nose here. And then do just a little bit right here, because you know the sun's not gonna get that part of his underneath his face. Do a little here, and we can get a little bit of his nose going up. See, and we can go ahead and get this part of his cheek as well. Pull this down. There we go. Hey Amador, how are you, honey? So go ahead and bring this up. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit more. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go with my YG01. See, I probably need to bring this up in a little bit more so y'all can see better. It's a little bit cloudy here today, so it might be a little dark in here. So if I need to turn on more lights, please, please, please let me know. So just gonna go ahead and bring that YG03 out. Bring it up his nose a little bit. Here we go. Donnie, why do they call you Jess if your name is Donnie, sweetheart? Here we go. Or is it that you like to be called Jess? Here we, and then get his mouth, get the rest of his lip and underneath his mouth right here. And then go up the side of his face. Get a little bit here. And then we'll pull that out. I'm going to leave his cheek right here. Just for the YG00 and the tops of his nostrils. Go ahead and just leave a little bit of white here on his arm. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of his tail, even the little dots there. Okay, so now I'm going to use the YG00 just to finish everything out. There we go. That's funny. Okay, I used to have a teacher in high school that consistently called me Amber because she said I didn't look like a Christina, that I look like an Amber. So for years I just went by Amber because that's what my teacher called me, and everybody thought that was my name, so it was quite funny. It became a joke almost. Okay, so there is Mr. Dudley, at least the top half of him. The bottom half, I'm going to do the little, like, down here and his little back scales and his horns. I decided not to, don't need the yellow, to do in purple, because green and purple on a dragon I think would look fabulous. So we are going to go with, we're going to start with the BV13. I'm going to turn him around so I can get a little bit of a better angle on his horns. Or BV17, I'm sorry, that's BV17 that we're starting with. I'm going to come to this side. Actually, I'm going to take that cap off because it looks like it's going to leak on me. So I'm going to go ahead and get right there next to his head. There we go. Okay, and then we're gonna, on his little scale things, we're just gonna do a little bit. We're just gonna do like a little line, just like tiny. And we're just gonna outline the scales. And then we will go ahead and do a line here and then just go over the little lines in between. So, and then I'm going to do a line here and right down here, trying to make sure I don't get anything else in there. And then I'm going to just go right over the top of these lines here, but I'm also going to go along the bottom here and a little bit under his mouth. Now I'm going to go ahead and do BV13, and I'm just going to go ahead and pull all of this BV17 out and just leave a little bit of an area for the BV11. Okay, so this, this part right here, I'm actually going to take and do a little bit up and a little bit down, and I'm just using dots. That's all I'm doing. I'm not flicking or anything like that. I'm just using dots. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because if you do, then it will look more like a roundy tube. It'll give it more of a circular motion when you're all finished. And then just getting a little bit, finish that one off, but just leaving a little bit of white. And then these ones, I'm just going to go ahead and go down because there's not too much space to where you can actually do that. The little round part. Yes, this is a digital stamp. The link to the image is up in the description of this video and in the event so that you can get it. But he is just a little cutie. I love all the little the Dudley dragons. I think they are adorable. So just gonna go ahead and go over all the little white parts here. Now if you're like me and you like to have your Halloween purple to look a little bit more vibrant, then you can use the V15 and go over this and it'll make it a little bit more vibrant of a purple. Instead of, because the BVs have a lot of gray in them. So even if you took, like, you could even take like the 05. The 05 would make it super bright too. But you can take like a V15 and just go over it and see how it makes it more, to me that's more of a Halloween purple, because I always think of the Halloween purple just being really vibrant. So, and you can just go over all of his little bits with that. And it just changes the color of the BV15 or the BV11. I don't know where my brain is today. I think I need to get more sleep at night. So there is Mr. Dudley. Isn't he cute? So we'll go ahead and do his cape. So his cape, I'm going to use the C's. We're going to use C2, 3, 5, and 7. It's not a big space, so we don't really need a whole lot for his little cape. But I'm going to go ahead and make a blueprint of where I want my shadows before I actually start in on doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and just put some C2 in where I want my darkest shadows to be, so I know where my ruffles and things are going to go. I'm going to turn him around. I'm going to make this go all the way up, and then I'm going to have a shadow come down. And then we'll go ahead and put a little bit of a shadow here. So I'm going to take my C7 and I'm going to go right over the top of my C2 where I just put that at. Okay, and then let me move it this way so I can get this back here and get along his tooth so that can all stand out. And then we'll just make all this right here stand out too. So now I'm going to take my C5 and I'm going to pull that C7 out just slightly right over here, and then a lot more here on the front. And I'm going to pull it out here and just put a little bit underneath that little cape part. Go around the edge here, bring this part up, and then we're going to pull this out. That way it looks like it's catching the sun on the top side, or the moon in his case. Sun is supposed to be bad for vampires, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and finish it all off with C3. See, so small areas, when you're doing small areas like this, you really don't need a whole bunch of colors. There we go. Get right there at the top of his cape. The only thing I would actually do with this cape is I'm going to go back in and make those fold lines a little bit more pronounced. There we go. Maybe come back this way, pull that out again. There we go. So the last thing that's left pretty much is the pumpkin and the grass. One thing you can do with Dudley's eyes, if you want them to come out a little bit more, this is my C0, and I'm just gonna put a little bit in the center here and pull it out, and just pull this out just a tiny bit. I don't even know if you guys can really see that, but it just kind of puts a shadow on his eye like your eyelid would. Makes his eyes look a little bit more rounded. Okay, so the pumpkin, we're gonna go ahead and use probably most of these colors: YR12, YR15, YR14, YR16, and YR24. I forgot my 18, but here's YR18 as well. I'm gonna start off with my YR16. No. The only birthday card I got was Susan. You still can't, you have to remember, don't push down hard. It's just, you gotta be light, Susan. To get that fine line, you just have to be really light-handed and use it like a paintbrush, not like a color crayon. That's what Paula does. So go ahead and just, and barely touch the paper, like barely. If you're still having problems with that, I would go ahead and get a sheet of paper, sheet of your Copic paper, or just any paper really, and just practice flicking. And also what you can do is you can practice to see if you're a pusher, which would be this, you push away from you, or if you're a puller. See, if you can notice, my pull lines are a lot thinner than my push lines. So my push lines are fatter and my pull lines are thinner. And it's also going to matter if you put your pen directly straight up and down, okay? I don't move my wrist, I move my fingers like this, okay? So just practice, practice, practice. So we're going to go ahead and put a line here, and we're just going to come up from the bottom. And actually, I think I need to turn him around a little bit to get those pumpkin lines in. So we're just going to go ahead and put the pumpkin lines right into his face. Here we go. And then let's see, there would be, if there's one there and one there, I'm assuming there would be another one right, well, that might be a little bit too far. But right there. Hello, Denise. So we'll put some shading right here next to his little smile lines. And he'll have shading next to the top here. We're just going to bring this down. Don't forget, don't go into his eyeballs because those are going to be yellow. So that way it looks like there's a light in there. And then he has a little bit of the brim back here, so we're just going to go ahead and fill that in. And then I'm going to flip him around so that I can pull. And just going to go ahead and fill that in. Don't fill in the little part right here with his tooth. That'll be the lightest since there'll be a light, you know, the yellow light in his mouth. So here we go. We'll put a little bit right here too for his smile line. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do for right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to YR14. I'm going to go ahead and pull that down. I'm not doing inside of his mouth here. Or wait, that's not the outside of his mouth. This is the inside right here. So this part, that'll probably be YR12 as we come to that. But we're going to go ahead and I'm sticking with the lines that I drew. I'll probably have to draw those in with YR18 to make them stand out a little bit more. There we go. Get around his eyes. And I'm going to turn him around. Bring that YR14 up. Finish out his tooth right there, his mouth. And we'll go ahead and come up from these teeth a little bit. Come up over here. So just so I don't completely lose my lines, I'm going to go ahead and go in with YR18 and draw those lines back in. And you don't have to do that part. That is just something that I like to do. Just because I like the little spines of the, I don't know if it's spines or what it's called, but I just like that part of the pumpkin, how it's all separated. That is not something you have to do at all. Here we go. Put a little bit of shading along the bottom with the YR18 while we've got it out. And then we'll have some 18 along the cape and the top. Not much, just a little. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the pumpkin face with YR12, and then I'll go back and I'll take care of the shadows. There we go. Now for this, you can go ahead and fill in with the YR12 because the yellow is going to be hitting that, so you can go ahead and fill that in with the YR12, like any spots that have look like they've been cut out. There we go. Whoops. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and go back with my YR16 and pull that 18, or wait, no. We need the YR24. That way we can make it a little bit dirty, like he just came out of the pumpkin patch. There we go. And just going over those YR18 lines. And I am doing a little bit of a thicker line. And I accidentally went into his eyeball a little bit. So now I'll go ahead and use the 16. And really get those pumpkin lines going a little bit more, and just build that color for those pumpkin lines to really come out. And you can tell I'm like trying to stay in the line, but I'm not doing a very good job today. Here we go. Oh, and I forgot that one. That's okay. Just go back with the YR12 and get that piece right there. So now I'm going to go back in with, I'm actually going to go back in with the 15 and color it in, because it makes the YR12 will stick out right here, and it changes the 15 just a little bit, since I already went over that with the YR12 earlier. And again, you don't have to put those pumpkin lines in if you don't want to, if you don't like them, because they're not drawn out in there anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and use my 0 to try and get this out of the nose a little bit. And out of the mouth. And out of the eye. My hands are really shaky today, so I really was not doing a very good job about staying in the lines. Here we go. And that might bleed a little bit because it just spooged all over my stuff. See right here? You can see that it just threw up all over. So I'm just going to go in with my 15 and see if I can fix that a little bit. If not, a sequin is going to go right there. Right on his face. So now I'm going to go ahead and use Y18, 15, and 13. I'm going to start with the 18. And I'm just going to get the darkest places. Something on there. Get the darkest places, which would be closest to the rind of his mouth. Hi, Taya. So I'm going to go ahead and get, there we go. Just go ahead and do those. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull that out a little bit with the Y15, not much, but a little. And I just realized I forgot his little nose. So do this side. I finished that side out, but I'm going to go ahead and just barely use it right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Y13. Let's see, yep, Y13 for the rest of it. And I'm just going to push that Y13 into those darker colors instead of pulling those darker colors out, because I want his eyes and everything else to be nice and bright. I just want a little bit of shadow. Here we go. He's turning out kind of cute, I think. So the pumpkin has a little bit of grass underneath of him. So we're going to go ahead and use G28, G24, and G07. I'm going to make the grass a little bit dark because it looks like it's kind of under and behind him. So I'm just going to do a couple of flicks. Well, not that way. I'm supposed to be pulling, not pushing. So it'll be nice and thin. There we go. And then I'm going to use G07 and just do a little bit, because I want it a little bright, but not like terribly bright. I don't want it to match our cutie patootie dragon here. And then G24 to finish off the grass. And then I didn't do his little baddie clasp because I wasn't quite sure what color I wanted to do it. So let's do it bright purple, as if it's some really cute little pendant thing. Put a little purple in there, not a lot. And then we can cover that with a C. Let's see, will this work? Yep. So it'll look grayish purple. And that was C2 over the top of VO5 for his little clasp. So, and you can go in, like if you want to make the clasp stand out a little bit more. This is BV17. You can always go around and just very lightly make it look like there's a shadow on him. Just make it stand out a little bit more. And you can make these little lines stand out more so it looks a little bit more rounded. and then go along the bottom of his fins here, or scales. Oh, and we forgot his dots. There's his little dots. And you can just put some of those details, just build your color and put some of those details back that you feel that you want to have back in there. Not everybody's going to be the same, so some people might want it muted, some people may want to have more striking contrast in there. It just really depends on you and what your personal style is and what you want to do. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Donnie. So, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and go back with my C7 just a little bit. I'm going to turn this upside down again. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not making anybody dizzy. But I just really want that black to just stand out. There we go. And on his cape, you can even put like a little bit of white with your gel pen to make it look shiny. So if you put, let's see, this is an 8. Warm that up, make sure it's working. You can just put a little bit right there. Okay, you can even put a little bit on his little nose. Maybe some on his tail. You can even put some on the little pumpkin. I don't know what it is about the white gel pen, but for me, it just makes everything look so, like, it really makes it stand out. Okay. Oh, his teeth. I almost forgot his teeth. His teeth, I normally, for teeth, I usually use E40 for teeth, and I don't do anything special. I just kind of color them in. There we go. And then his eyes, you can either leave them white or make them yellow. I'm just going to go ahead and use my C7 to make them black, and then we can always just put those little shine lines and make him look really cross-eyed. Okay? So same goes with Dudley. If you want him to stand out a little bit more, his little shadow lines, you can always just go back in and really make him stand out by just simply going back over him with, this is the YG13. Okay, and it's all about building color and how you want something to look. So just okay. You can just build all kinds of color. Even if it's just the same color, say you don't have the same colors that I do, but you have something close, you can always go over it and make it a little bit darker with no problem, just by using the same exact color. Yeah, I usually go back and add the shadows. I've had a couple of people tell me that they don't like that, so I've been kind of holding off on doing that a little bit during class, but I think it's important for everybody to see everything that I do so that we can explore all of it. And plus it really just shows what you know, because it's not so dark when you very first put the shadows down, But then it gets really dark once you go over it again, and that's just, again, that's just applying, so you can see it's just applying the color over and over again to get the look that you want. Like I could even put some right here, make his little snout stand out a little bit more. And even if you apply, like I've just applied like what, 3 or 4 different little strokes just right here, and it's much darker. Okay. Granted, I'm not sure I like how dark I made that now, but let's see. I can tone that. Let me try with the YG06. Just tone that down just a little bit. There we go. And then let's try going in with the YG01, pulling that 6 out. Makes his nose look like a nose and his lips look like lips. There we go. Hi, Jennifer. So, and just pull this out a little bit more. He's starting to look like he's not getting any sleep. But there you go, and you can make him as dark or as light as you like. You could even make the purple on him a little bit lighter if you used like the BV01s and the BV00s, because these are really super light. This is BV00. And then BV01 is pretty light too. So if you don't like the darker purple, you can always make him a lighter purple and he'll still look just as cute. So I will see you guys back here on next Tuesday. My mother-in-law will be gone. She might be going shopping, Christmas shopping this week with my husband. She tends to do that every year when she comes out, so she doesn't have to ship anything. If that is the plan, then I will come back and color these guys for you, because I said that I would, and I finally got the stamp in the mail. So if that happens, then I will go ahead and color that for you guys. Okay? So I will see you guys later, and thank you for joining me today, and I'll talk to you later. Love you guys. Have a good Halloween. Be safe. Bye.